Let go of the day, and let tonight's story soothe your soul. Amaryllis and the Snow Fairy's Surprise. This story is about a curious girl named Amaryllis who meets a snow fairy named Salvia, and discovers the magical world within the enchanted forest. Amaryllis was a curious little girl who lived in a small village at the edge of an enchanted forest. She had always heard stories about the magical beings that dwell within the woods, but she had never seen one herself. One crisp winter's evening, as snowflakes danced in the twilight, Amaryllis decided to venture into the forest. She wrapped herself in a thick woolen cloak and trudged through the snow, her heart pounding with excitement. Deeper and deeper she went, until she reached a small clearing where the moonlight shone brightly. As she gazed at the shimmering snow, she felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. Turning round, she gasped in delight at the sight of a tiny, glowing figure with delicate wings up of a snow fairy named Salvia. Salvia had a radiant smile, and eyes that sparkled like icicles. "Hello, Amaryllis," she said in a voice as soft as the falling snow. Amaryllis was both startled and enchanted. "How do you know my name?" she asked. "I know every child who believes in the magic of the forest," Salvia replied with a twinkle in her eye. "I've come to show you something special." Intrigued, Amaryllis followed Salvia as she hovered gracefully over the snowy ground. They wandered through the forest until they reached a hidden glen that seemed to glow with its own light. In the center stood a magnificent ice sculpture of a unicorn, its mane and tail sparkling like 1,000 stars. "This is beautiful," Amaryllis exclaimed. "The native amobsebo pomamai fatchifasi estrupa opetlivo oliver. It's a gift from the forest to you. You have such a pure heart, and the forest wanted to thank you for believing in its magic." Amaryllis felt a warm glow inside her, despite the cold surroundings. "Thank you, Salvia," she whispered. "This is the best surprise ever," the snow fairy smiled. "This is just the beginning, Amaryllis. There are many more wonders to discover if you keep believing." With those words, Salvia sprinkled a handful of glittering snowflakes into the air, and they formed a dazzling archway. "Step through, and you'll see," she said. Amaryllis took a deep breath and stepped through the archway. On the other side, she found herself in a wondrous world filled with sparkling icicles, glowing flowers, and cheerful woodland creatures. Everywhere she looked, there was beauty and enchantment. As she wandered through this magical realm, Amaryllis felt an overwhelming sense of joy and wonder. Eventually, Salvia appeared beside her once more. "Remember, Amaryllis, the magic is always here. You just have to believe and keep your heart open to surprises." With a wave of her tiny hand, Salvia bid farewell and disappeared into the night. Amaryllis returned to her village, forever cherishing the memory of her adventure, and the special surprise from the snow fairy Salvia. And so every night, she would look out of her window, hoping to catch a glimpse of the enchanted forest, and the friends she made there. She knew that as long as she believed, magic would always be a part of her life. Let's continue with another tale to warm your heart. The Understanding Between Primrose and Dahlia. This story is about Primrose, a kind-hearted human who discovers and fosters a lost puppy, Dahlia. Through shared experiences and unspoken communication, they build a deep bond of understanding and mutual love. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a gentle human named Primrose. Primrose had the warmest smile, and a heart full of kindness, which endeared her to everyone in the village. She had a tiny cottage, surrounded by blooming flowers, the pride of which was a vibrant garden filled with every color imaginable. Among these flowers, her favorite was the dahlia, radiant and strong. One day, as Primrose walked through the meadows near her home, she found a small, trembling puppy hiding beneath the shade of a large oak tree. The puppy had large, innocent eyes and a coat as golden as the morning sun. Primrose knelt down and spoke softly, "Hello, little one. Where's your home?" The puppy seemed lost and stared. Without hesitation, Primrose took the puppy in her arms and brought it to her cottage. The little puppy, which Primrose named Dahlia after her favorite flower, quickly became her inseparable companion. At first, Dahlia was very timid and would often cower at the slightest sound. But with Primrose's gentle care and patience, Dahlia began to understand that she was safe and loved. The bond between the two grew stronger with each passing day. Primrose and Dahlia shared joyful mornings tending to the garden, playful afternoons chasing butterflies, and cozy evenings by the fire. Each night, Primrose would whisper stories of adventure and love to Dahlia, who listened attentively as if understanding every word. One autumn evening, a fierce storm swept through the village. The wind howled, and the rain battered against the cottage windows. Dahlia shivered and whimpered in fear. Primrose held her close and whispered, "It's all right, my dear. For every storm will pass, and we'll see the rainbow together." After the storm had passed, Primrose and Dahlia went outside to find the garden in disarray. Flowers were uprooted, and the once vibrant colors of their sanctuary were muddied and bent. Despite the damage, Primrose softly said, "Don't worry, Dahlia. We'll fix it together." With determination, they began to restore the garden. As they worked side by side, Dahlia seemed to understand Primrose's words even more deeply. She watched and imitated Primrose's delicate hands, her own small paws making impressions in the earth. Through this shared labor, they found a deeper connection and understanding of each other. By spring, the garden had not only returned to its previous glory but had become even more beautiful than before. The flowers bloomed brighter, the colors seemed richer, and the air was filled with a sweet fragrance that spoke of the love and effort Primrose and Dahlia had poured into their sanctuary. In the evenings, as they sat in their garden, Primrose would look at Dahlia and say, "We did it together, my brave little Dahlia." And Dahlia, with her bright golden coat and trusting eyes, would wag her tail in pure joy, for she knew that understanding was not just in words, but in actions and shared moments. Often actions and shared moments, but in actions and shared moments. As time went on, the relationship between Primrose and Dahlia deepened. They had learned to communicate through more than spoken language, through gestures, glances, and the shared rhythm of their daily lives. The village people would often say that there was a special kind of magic between the two, a magic born from mutual understanding and unconditional love. Thus, the story of Primrose and Dahlia became a cherished tale in the village. It reminded everyone that true understanding transcends words, and is found in the quiet moments of shared experiences and heartfelt connection. And so, as night fell, Primrose and Dahlia would rest under the starlit sky, content in their bond, and the comforting knowledge that they would always understand each other. Let's begin another chapter in tonight's journey. Blossom and faithful companion Lobelia, a story of home. This story is about Blossom and her dog Lobelia finding comfort and defining the true meaning of home during a storm. In a small, enchanting village in nestled between rolling hills, lived a kind-hearted girl named Blossom. She had a faithful companion, a loving dog named Lobelia. Blossom and Lobelia shared an inseparable bond that brought warmth to their home. Every morning, the sun would rise, casting golden rays over their small cottage. The flower garden in front of their home would blossom in myriad colors, reflecting the happiness within their hearts. Blossom would wake up early, her hair cascading in waves down her back, and together with Lobelia, they would go for a morning stroll. The path they took wound through a meadow filled with wildflowers, and birds would sing melodious tunes, greeting their passage. As they walked, Blossom would share her dreams and hopes with Lobelia, who listened intently with a wagging tail. One day, an unexpected storm hit the village. The wind howled through the trees and the rain fell heavily, creating puddles around their home. Despite the storm, Blossom and Lobelia stayed calm, finding comfort in each other's presence. Blossom lit a fire in the hearth, and the crackling flames filled their living room with a cozy warmth. As the storm raged, Blossom wrapped a quilt round herself and Lobelia, and began to tell stories of adventures and far-off places. Lobelia's eyes sparkled in the firelight, and she snuggled closer to Blossom, content and safe. Time seemed to stand still as the storm thundered outside, but inside their home, love and warmth prevailed. The next morning, the storm had passed, leaving the village washed in fresh, sparkling sunlight. The puddles shimmered like jewels, and the air was crisp and clean. Blossom and Lobelia stepped outside, feeling the cool breeze on their skin and fur. They felt grateful for their home, a sanctuary that protected them from life's storms. Blossom knelt down beside Lobelia, hugging her tightly. With a smile, she whispered, "As long as we have each other, we are always home." Sighing, Lobelia wagged her tail in agreement, and they both looked at their beloved cottage, a symbol of their unbreakable bond. From that day on, Blossom and Lobelia cherished every moment together, knowing that home is not just a place, but a feeling of safety and love they created for each other. Let's explore a new tale, soft and warm. Faithful companions, Yuri and Astor. This story is about Yuri and his parrot Astor, who share a deep bond and find courage in their friendship to explore the mysterious whispering forest together. Yuri was a gentle soul who lived in a quaint village surrounded by lush meadows and whispering forests. Despite being an introverted child, Yuri was never truly lonely, thanks to his constant companion, Astor the parrot. Astor was a vibrant, blue and green parrot with a curious mind and a talent for mimicking sounds, bringing the symphony of nature into Yuri's home. One sunny morning, as the dawnlight filtered through the curtains, Astor chirped a sweet melody to wake Yuri. "Good morning." "Good morning," he squawked, hopping along the windowsill. Yuri rubbed his eyes, a smile spreading across his face. He loved the mornings he shared with Astor, when the world felt peaceful and full of possibility. The day was special. Yuri and Astor were going to visit the Whispering Forest for the first time. He had always admired it from afar, but Yuri had finally gathered the courage to explore its depths. With Astor perched on his shoulder, they set out on their adventure. The forest was alive with the gentle rustling of leaves, birdsong, and the distant murmur of a stream. Yuri felt a sense of wonder and trepidation as they walked deeper into the woods. Astor, sensing Yuri's hesitation, nuzzled his ear passionately. "You'll pray together," Astor chirped. "Everything will be okay." Yuri took a deep breath, his faith in Astor bolstering his resolve. They wandered through the forest, marveling at the towering trees and the array of colorful flowers. Eventually, they came upon a clearing bathed in sunlight, where an ancient oak tree stood, its branches stretching towards the sky like welcoming arms. Yuri felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. Under the protective canopy of the bough, Yuri and Astor sat down to rest. Yuri leaned back against the rough bark, feeling the sturdy strength of the tree. Astor fluttered onto a low branch, his feathers shimmering in the dappled light. "Thank you for being my friend," Yuri whispered. Aster tilted his head, his dark eyes sparkling with understanding. "Odd better," he repeated softly. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the forest, Yuri and Aster made their way back home. The journey back was filled with laughter and shared discoveries, each step solidifying their bond. Back in their cozy cottage, Yuri gently placed Aster in his cage and sat beside him. As night fell, the village grew quiet and the stars began to twinkle in the sky. Yuri felt at peace, grateful for the companionship and faith that Aster brought into his life. "Good night, Aster," Yuri murmured, his heart full. Aster nestled into his feathers and replied in a drowsy chirp, "Good night, friend." With faith in each other, Yuri and Aster knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. In the warmth of their friendship, they found the strength to believe in a brighter tomorrow. Until next time, may peace be with you.